the two pilots. Here she is then, in her last ever flying display season. When this aeroplane lands in October, you will never see another Vulcan fly. Starting at about 160 knots, 16,500 pounds of static thrust each, total of about 65,000. The same engine, a later model, was the engine that powered Concorde. Of course, the Concorde ones had reheat. This was not a supersonic aeroplane, the Vulcan. 26 by the man who designed the fantastic Lancaster, Roy Chadwick. He died in 1947 in a crash, and he never saw his brilliant design fly. Nor did he see it become the first successful operational delta-wing aircraft in the world, rather like R.J. Mitchell not seeing his Spitfire into RAF service. So watch now as Bill Ramsey takes the aircraft into a spiral climb. The famous Vulcan howl. There are different explanations for how that happens. The easiest is that people say it's a bit like blowing over the top of a Coke bottle. You've got two engines on each side with a single intake, and under certain conditions you get that. So the RAF got its first Vulcan in 1956. It had been designed with the Valiant and the Victor to carry the British nuclear deterrent during the Cold War. Last year it was 25 years since the fall of the Berlin Wall and the collapse of the European communist regimes, which eventually ended the Cold War, and this aeroplane was a significant player in that ending of the Cold War. Undercarriage coming up as she goes by. She was kept on after Vulcans eventually went out of service as part of the Vulcan display flight, because then, as now, everybody loved her so much they wanted her to keep on flying as a display aircraft. And she finally retired from the RAF in 1993. Now, as she comes by this time, watch for the bomb doors opening, and you'll see that capacious bomb bay that carried 21 1,000-pound bombs. So, Jonathan Lazari, the AEO, is opening the bomb bay as she goes by. And that, of course, is the heart of the bomber. And that was the bomb load that Martin Withers, sitting in the right-hand seat today, took the more than 7,000 miles down to the Falkland Islands from Ascension Islands on the Falkland Islands, which was significant in the prosecution of the war. Bomb bay doors closed now. See, she can whisper by when she's not making lots of noise.
plus BP. And the role of the 727 within that company is to provide a capability to spray to Burton over all commanding for 51 Squadron during the final years of the Nimrod R1. That is a 1v1 cross. Now blades 2 and 3 are going to complete their manoeuvre around the back. They're going to leave the way clear for blades 1 and 4, who are running in from the left and right hand side. Blades 1 and 4 are each going to fly an aileron roll as they fly towards one another, and then they're going to pull up into the vertical to the paired tail side.
Here comes the DC-3 up in the trees. Look at that, isn't that smashing? Power out, they got everybody out of the airplane, nobody was injured, the airplane was in one piece, and it will be flying again probably later this year. So a big hero flying this DC-3 for us today. Flight Lieutenant Seth Davey. He saved the Lancaster. Look at that steep climb upwards, and watch what happens when he gets to the top of the climb. It's a good push, and over the nose goes, a nose down into a spiral descent. Sound as the blades slap. I always wonder how they don't hit each other because there's a big overlap amongst those blades. Now I think probably safer than doing it north of Towers. Look at that. Oh, it does look uncomfortable. So, 27 Squadron at Odiations can only carry 9.5 tons instead of the usual 12.5, but a lot of other helicopters were hardly operating at all. And we have here at the Cosford AirShow seen demonstrations of the MERT teams, the medical emergency rescue teams, and there's a quick stop. Quick way of losing forward speed. Now watch this, a 720-degree Gordy corkscrew. This is a way of rapidly getting out of a steep-sided valley. Gordy refers to Gordy Vakuf in Bosnia-Herzegovina. The way to get out of a valley quickly to avoid gunfire. That's a Gordy corkscrew. And now a spiraling descent coming back down again. They're 60 foot in diameter. Two Textron-like, so that ramp capable of taking small vehicles. Yeah, I can see his big day-glow hand waving at us as they go sideways down the runway. Strange undercarriage configuration, 4 wheels at the front and 2 at the back. Saying it carries 12.7 tons, but it can carry its own weight underslung underneath the helicopter on wires. It's the weight of 10 family cars. Spiral descents. Now when they come back to the display center, something that I think looks pretty much like a loop. But we'll see. Display centre is the orange pyramid thing in the middle of the field. I can't see. Oh no, they're not going to do their loop today. I think they must have decided they don't quite have the height. Oh well, no, not quite. It's a sort of oblique loop. It's going round in a very steep 360-degree turn.